flies around every minute. You need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes is Africans in Diaspora and Back Home leading English news network, one of the most respected and trusted sources for news updates on current affairs as it affects global Africa.
Yeah, that's what it is. Good morning, viewers. Good day, wherever you are. Good afternoon. My name is Mark Godwin Iwejuwa, and we're here on our Friday dose of news update. And I'm here from the studio in Milan, Italy. Joining me also in Lagos, Nigeria, is my brother, my coordinator, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. Good morning, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. Shewa Dada.
Good morning, Mark.
Yeah.
And good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Friday program.
Welcome to our Friday program. It seems like it's me and you today in the studio, but it's all good. Yes, it's all good.
We are,
so how are
we
you?
are a formidable,
how is the
we
weather?
Are a formidable team. Yes.
Yeah, formidable team. How is the weather in Nigeria? It
rained overnight, so things are quite cool now. The weather is cool, and it's yes.
The weather is cool. Nice. You're welcome. So, like we normally do, we give our update. Like we also say, this is the network for Nigerians home and abroad, a network that speaks to issues as it relates to us. So we try our best to put updates into perspective and make it make sense to our viewers. So you're welcome. This morning, while I was logging into the studio, the news came in from my corner here. I'm in Milan, so not too far away from me is the center of the Catholic Church, and that place is called the Vatican. So the Vatican brings out news updates. We normally stay connected to know what they have to tell us. So what we had this morning is the Vatican says they are making a new rule to authenticate what people call miracles, and to authenticate a lot of prophecies that the church could be spreading. So they said that rules will involve the way people talk about the weeping status of Mary. I don't know if you know about those things, Raji. Sometimes people will come up and say they saw Mary crying. They saw the statue of Mary crying. So they want to have control over those pronouncements, those prophecies. So they also said there is also that talk that comes out most times, how people give prophetic utterances, but this is related to the Catholic Church. So this morning, the head of the Catholic Church in the Vatican got out that news, and they said that the church is stepping in to control all such statements, prophecies, and all these supernatural things that a lot of people say. So what will you say about that, Raji? What do you say?
Yeah, I think it's necessary, because so many times there have been very, very false viewings, false declarations, which after validation has, after a good check have proven to be quite false, or just a twist of nature. You see?
Twist of nature.
I remember the Our Lady of Fatima. That miracle was put under test for a long time before it was validated and taken as a fact.
Okay. Yes. So henceforth, viewers, it won't be so again. The picture you're seeing on the screen there is a picture of the statue of Mary that sometimes some people say it begins to weep, and that's the Vatican there. The picture of the Vatican and the crowd. So that's the announcement that came out this morning. The Vatican announces new rules to authenticate miracles, such as the weeping statues of Mary, and also all this issue of stigmata, these things they say some people's hand brings blood and all that. So there is now going to be control over such pronouncements. Yeah, so moving on, viewers, you're welcome. So Raji, let's get into some of the basic news. Yesterday, this is serious up till now. We have visuals on that also. Day before yesterday, on I think it was Wednesday, we woke up to hear an assassination attempt in a part of Europe called Slovak. Let's see a clip of that, then we'll come to the story. So what you just saw is an assassination attempt on the Prime Minister of Slovak, Robert Fico. Slovak Prime Minister, but they said he's stable, but in a very, very serious condition. But before we continue, let's bring in our diva, BD Nana. Welcome to SSM Friday Global World Affairs.
Good morning, Massive Mike. Good morning, Saraji, our viewers all around the world. Thanks for joining us again today. Let's do it like always.
You're welcome, BD. Okay, so BD, we were just giving updates on what happened here on Wednesday. Wednesday, there was an assassination attempt by the Slovak Prime Minister. Now, let's take note that Slovak is a country in Europe. Let me bring in also our coordinator, our man from Toronto, Canada, Sir George Chuku. You're welcome, Sir George. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody's phone is okay. Okay. The Slovak Prime Minister, yes, Robert Fico. You saw that video there. Now, what happened was he was in a program somewhere during the day, and somebody from nowhere just came up to him and shot at him. It was a real-time event. People were gathered. It was outside a cultural center in one part of the country, and the Prime Minister was holding meeting with people. The shooting was very fast. But Mr. Fico's security officers took charge. He was shot at, boom, and they took him immediately they bundled him to a car, drove away from the scene. And this morning we're also hearing. So yesterday we had some updates on it. Let's hear that again.
V priebehu noci sa podarilo lekárom stabilizovať stav pacienta a v tejto chvíli prebiehajú ďalšie úkony, ktoré majú smerovať k zlepšovaniu jeho zdravotného stavu. Tá situácia je naozaj vážna.
Okay, anyway, that's the I think that's the Interior Minister giving updates yesterday. He says the Minister, Robert Fico, is in stable condition, but it's still a serious issue after he was shot at. He said he's currently in an intensive care unit and going through a 5-hour surgery. So this is it. This is what we're saying. Now, for our viewers, let's give a small outlook on Slovak. Slovak is a republic. It's a landlocked country here in Europe, Central Europe. It's bordered by Poland to the north, Ukraine to the east, and Hungary to the south, and Austria to the west. Slovak is, like I said, is in Europe, so they use the euro currency. Slovak has a population of about 5-point-something million people, as at the World Bank calculation. So the Prime Minister is an official um, position, but they still also have a president, and that is a woman called Zinzana. So this is what we're saying. Let me start with you, Raji. But before then, George, can you hear us? George, can you? But we can't hear you, George. We can't hear you. Anyway, Raji, let's talk about Slovak. Tell what
Yes.
did you hear that news?
Yes, I did, and it's rather unfortunate. I wish the Prime Minister a quick recovery, and I pray that he will survive the attack. I'm glad to hear that he's in a stable condition, and we wish him quick recovery. But just an aside, a friend of mine mentioned that the Prime Minister was actually a wrong target. That the real target for peace would have been Zelensky.
Now, Raji, Raji,
it's just an aside. It's just an aside.
Anyway, that's the video that BD Slovak situation is being likened to what also sprang up, what necessitated the First World War in 1914. It was a similar thing, and almost in that same region. A man was assassinated called Franz Ferdinand, and his assassination in Syria, at the capital of Bosnia, I think that's Herzegovina. Somebody shot him and the wife, and that became like an effect that caused the outbreak of the First World War a month later. So people are saying they hope this won't open up any other thing. They hope it will just remain the way it is. So what do you think? What do you think, BD?
I hope too it will remain the way it is. But if you ask me, is the Third World War, is it not actually going on as we speak now? Look at what is happening in Ukraine. Look at what is happening in the Middle East. Is Third World War not going on? Well, like Raji said, I'm happy they said the minister is in a good state. But I think if you ask me, if you look at that video, would I said he wasn't the attack, he wasn't the main person, because the way I saw that video yesterday, it was like a mistake at him, because if they actually want to get at him, they would have perfectly got at him without missing it. But the way they came, I think maybe probably they are trying to pass a message.
Trying to pass a message. George, can you put a voice now?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, George. Yes, we
okay,
can.
listen to this. This is not a joke, and this is not something to be, playing around with, because life is involved. The man was targeted, specifically targeted, shot 5 times. A message was being sent to him. They wanted to assassinate him simply because of his narrative, the way he was going. Number one, he was supporting, the man was turning away from Ukraine. That was one of the major problems. He also wanted to, he became anti-American, and the country did not like what he was actually doing. So this man is, when he was interviewed, after interrogated actually, after after his arrest, he was saying that yes, he targeted him simply because of the way he was going. He specifically said the reason why he was doing it. He was not sent by anybody. He was, he's a publisher, he's an author, but that he did not like the way the man was going. So this is something that we need to be very careful about, because innocent lives can be lost in a situation like this when somebody becomes very agitated because of the way a government official, is going. They just come and take a gun and start shooting. It was not a mistake. It was well targeted. It was after him. So, something that we don't play about or laugh about. Somebody's life is, online right now. So we gotta be serious about this. It could happen to anybody. Being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Thank God that he was the only one that was shot. What if one of the bodyguards was there and then maybe was killed? These are innocent lives that could have been, victims of such nonsense that is going on.
such nonsense going on. George became strong. That's a picture of viewers. That's a picture of the Slovak Prime Minister that was shot at, Robert Fico. George, added to what you've just said, you came real strong on this. Added to what you just said, we media people in Europe, we are monitoring this whole thing, and we're looking at it like a repeat of what happened in 1914 that brought up the war. But before we go on, let's bring our man Godwin Ibe from Moscow, Russia. Godwin, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and thank you viewers for tuning in. Fico.
Thank you for coming, Godwin. So, yes, we're seeing it like that. We're seeing could this also begin to expand over the board? We all remember how it happened in 1914, the war, First World War. And now what happened was, as that incident happened, that assassination, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, on the Serbians. A lot of things started going off. Within a week, Russia, Belgium, France, Great Britain, all lined up against Austria and Hungary and Germany, and boom, everywhere was exploding with missiles and everything. So, Godwin, do you think this could go beyond what we're saying? Do you think it will end here, or interest? Like George just gave us a viewpoint now that this. I mean, the person that killed him said he did it. That shot at him said he didn't do it for any reason. Well, people are looking at different motives. Connection. Godwin, what do you think?
I mean, it had to be very idiotic for anyone to think that he did it for no reason. He planned it. He brought a gun. He monitored the security details and executed his plan. I mean, the brain has to be absolutely be switched off totally for anyone to think that it's some kind of coincidence, some coincidence of the stars, moon, and sun and planets for that to have occurred. And so I don't want to go along that path of what do you call it? Non-intelligence, but obviously he planned it. He's sponsored by somebody, maybe internal, intrinsic political motive, or extrinsic, sponsored and curated by an intelligence agency. Now, with that being said, we'll now try to say what could be the motives, that could have made such a planning and opportunity present itself. And some people speculate, allegedly, due to the political views held by Robert Fico, his pro-Russian views. Like I said, it's alleged. We don't have any evidence of that, but usually this kind of planned assassinations or attempts at assassinations are usually due to political views held by the person. And then we condemn it, whether it's in Russia, whether it's out of Russia, whether it's pro-Russian, anti-Russian views. No one should be politically assassinated for his views. Now, the post of prime minister is a high-top positions, and we see most of these kind of high-top assassinations in the West, unfortunately. And we don't know whether to call Czech a Western nation. I mean, EU. Well, okay, so I think it's fair to say Western. But high people in positions of power attempted assassination. This occurs in the West.
No. Are you talking of Slovak? Are you talking of Slovak?
Yeah, Slovak. Yeah, Slovak. Slovak.
Yes. I gave a small overview of the country so people can understand. It's an EU country. It uses euro, the European Union, and it's even though surrounded by other countries that are not in the EU, but somehow Slovak is in EU. So this matter too, gentlemen, is being put in the burner this morning at the Brussels House, and dialogues will be going on. A lot of talk, a lot of investigation. So we just hope it stays the way it is. That's what some of us are saying.
But you see. Sorry, let me just quickly, just one minute. Political assassinations are terrible, but when they are done by positioning on someone in a position of power, it shows high-level coordination. And this is something that we're used to seeing in the West, not anywhere else. Because when you're in a position of power, at least there are some things that you can control. But in the West, it seems you can't. And it's still possible to execute this kind of attempts at assassination. It's very horrible.
It's horrible. Thank you very much. So that's it, viewers. We will be following the news, but like the update said from his interior minister, he's in stable condition, and we hope he makes it through.
Serious but stable. Serious but stable.
Yes, serious but stable. Yesterday something big was also happening. George, I hope you were following that. Our man, Russian President Vladimir Putin, made a visit to China, and he was received by the China's prime president. What's his name again?
Xi Jinping.
And, yes, and a lot of things are coming out now. A lot. So, guys, let's talk about China, Russia. Godwin will take the last take. Raji, how do you see the visits?
Well, it's actually long in coming, long in planning, and it's actually a show of solidarity between the two countries.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing. After the Chinese visits to France, I think he's trying to put some things together for world peace. And I wish him the best.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, let's hear from you. BD, are you?
Yeah.
Did you follow that visit?
Yeah.
Russia. Okay, go ahead. So what you're seeing there, in the clip, sorry, is that was the clip sent to us by the Chinese TV station. That's the boardroom meeting. Both countries seated, facing themselves, talking real strong discussion, putting out strong negotiations also. So go ahead, BD.
I think Putin is in Russia for business. If you ask me from what I saw there, it was actually focused on trade and cultural exchange. When I watched him, I saw him commending the president for the China Expo. I think the major reason he was there is to solidify the trade and cultural exchange between Russia and China. And it says one thing. It still says about the power that Putin is so intoxicated with. Do you understand? So that's just what I saw on that visit. It's basically for business and cultural exchange.
Basically for business and cultural exchange. Now, one of the viewpoints some people were bringing out is China going to support Russia with some funds to back up the war? This is coming from some media homes also. George, do you think Putin is there to also look for fund? I mean,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Putin is looking for money.
example, introduce sanctions.
Hold on. I don't think Putin is looking for money. China is in trouble, believe it or not. China is in a very serious economic state right as we speak. Surrounding China is India and a few other countries. The reason why you saw Xi Jinping went to France was simply because of business, because they're not telling you the real truth about the welfare of the country financially. They are suffering very big time. And what I believe is happening here is solidarity, like what just Biddy said, but also in collaboration is a good thing, because for both of them to come together, the only thing that I don't like about all this is China copying from what is happening with Russia and Ukraine and trying to target Taiwan, and the other countries eventually will come if allowed to do so. That is the only thing that I do not like. But as for the collaboration, there is nothing wrong with it, and they have to continue to. And this is one of the only places that Putin can go to, freely. So right now, it's a very well welcomed extension to come out of his country and go and shake his body and show his his power. So I like it personally. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The only place that I have issue with is I hope he's not going to be encouraging China to go after Taiwan. That's the only place that I have problem with.
Well, it doesn't look like that, but we are watching. More than 2 years into this whole thing, the war with Ukraine, China seems to have developed more stronger ties with Putin, with Russia. But China is doing something. China is not condemning the war and is continuing to trade heavily with Russia in midst of the sanction that is on Russia. Raji, do you think
Yes.
the way we saw that whole meeting, it appears that Putin wants more with China. In fact, he's talked about the Marshall Act his people are interested in. He talked about the Chinese philosophy and that some of his family members are also learning Mandarin. You know, Putin was saying this. So in the face of what's going on, do you think this could move on? This relationship could be strengthening and something good can come out of it? Raji?
There have, of course, there have been very good relationship between Russia and China, and it's not about anything other than solidarity of the community of socialist and communist countries. So there's no. I don't see anything. I don't see China being encouraged to even attack Taiwan for what reason.
Oh, we lost
the fear of China attacking Taiwan has been what the US has been dangling all over the place. There's no way that China is ever going to attack Taiwan for anything. Yes, I think the relationship is good, and whether US like it or not, the relationship will work stronger.
What way US coming? US coming here?
Let's hear from
US.
You think US are like that, right?
Yes, we know that meeting had more the oppositions being put on the table and talked about. We know that meeting.
My God.
Yes. But Godwin, let's hear from your updates. How was your man in Russia, in China?
Oh, first of all, let me correct the word. Allow is a wrong word. 30 years ago, you could use the word like allowed, like US allowing something to happen. That was when it was a unipolar world, and that was after the fall of the Soviet Union. There was a long time where NATO really had unchallenged superiority. Russia were trying to get out of the shackles of the split of the Soviet Union and get its economy intact. That was when you could talk about allow. Now, you don't talk about allow because even the Houthi rebels don't even recognize what the US says, the Houthi rebels, so it has gotten that bad. People in Afghanistan they chase the US helicopter from, you see, we are not at that level anymore in the world where allow or not allow. It's long past. The train has left the station. Now we are speaking about negotiation between sovereign great powers, and I want to talk about the concrete things that were achieved in that meeting. The first one is that Russia and China are set on building heavy helicopters. They've talked their companies, strategic defense industries have concluded that. The second, that they talked about electric vehicles. The US put sanctions on China for China electric vehicles, and Russia is saying, well, we have an open market for you. We try to also work together towards localizing production in Russia. This is real economic steps. The third thing is about what do you call this? Informing China of the change in strategy. The defense minister is going to be changed, and there are lots of both geopolitical and political things that need to be discussed. Also, Putin talked about something very concrete about reducing inspection time at the border between China and Russia for goods that are imported and exported, because this will improve logistics. So it's not how do I say, it's concrete, very, very concrete economic agenda that Putin has gone for, in also addition to the political aspect. And then one important thing that Putin said was that he said, don't feel sorry for yourself. The more you do, the more you get. The moment you feel sorry for yourself, it's only downhill you go. Do more, you get more. So that's a very wise statement, which I think we all should be guided by.
Thank you very much, Godwin. You
just spoken by the king. That's good. That's a good one. Yeah,
Yes,
but the point is this. We need to. I mean, I don't understand. Thank you for explaining the word allow, Dr. Godwin. The thing about it is this. Sometimes the world is come to a place right now. It's no longer unipolar, like you said. It's multipolar, but also each individual. You see, each section will have to solidify themselves and show the power and the alliance that they have with each other. But if you look deep into what is really going on around China right now, seriously, they are in serious trouble, because compared to the pre-pandemic economic welfare of China to now, a lot of things have gone down, and it's going down rapidly. And if you look around also, if you listen to some of the news and what is going on around them, they're having issues with India. And this is another issue that we need to eventually talk about, because of them belonging to the same group of people. Yes. So and the Filipinos that on the other side are having issues also with China. So what you're now looking at is that China is about to is trying to extend their tentacles around. Japan is worried. India is actually concerned. Philippines are concerned, based on what is going on in Ukraine and Russia. So these are the things that are really touching them, and they are discussing seriously how to be able to put themselves together against such power. So that's what really diplomatically that is taking place.
I will take what George is saying, Godwin.
Yeah, I take. I also do. But let me add something quickly.
Xi Jinping just left Europe, for example. He did a tour of about 4 European countries, and the undertone of those visits was to realign themselves with these various countries. In France, he opened up and said they need to be in good accord with Europeans. So France was that point of call, and he succeeded. It was a beautiful engagement, and he left for Romania, he left for Belarus and some other places. So all is, like George is saying, somehow they are losing their grip, with some real strong allies, and they need to cement that relationship again. So go ahead, Godwin. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say I think I understand what Sir George is saying, but it's overblown out of proportion. You see, China has issues in terms of demographics, in terms of replacement rates. They had this one child policy for a long time, and it's one of the issues they're having. But besides that replacement rate, there's nothing that China is facing that it hasn't solved. Remember, China is the only country that performed the economic miracle of doubling their GDP almost every decade consistently for a while. They because of their policies which they're having. So there's no issue that they're having now that is insurmountable. It's overblown out of proportion. Now, concerning the conflict with Taiwan, China, surprisingly for some people, they have no experience in conducting war or conflict. They have not conducted one in decades. They pose, they show their strength, they project, as we say, project strength, but they do not engage in fight. They're not interested in that. They have not done that for decades. Then they're interested in economic resolution to an issue. But even if should they choose to go military route, they will not do it now, because they understand that Taiwan is of strategic importance to the United States. It's producing close to 40-something% of advanced chips. It's the chip, only the chips. That's the main bone of contention. They're producing about 45%, but by 2027, China is increasing its share of production of mature chips to 45%, overtaking Taiwan, overtaking South Korea and Samsung and the rest. And they're increasing the share. Meanwhile, US is wooing South Korea to America to build advanced chips. They should increase their share of advanced chips to 22%. In total, US should be producing about 7% of global chips by 2027. They are trying to reduce their weakness on reliance on South Korea, US, while at the same time, China is improving their self-reliance and servicing the world. By 2027, when Taiwan is no longer of strategic importance to the US as it is today, they will be exactly in the position of Ukraine. So it hasn't gotten to that stage. This is overblown out of proportion. China has no plans whatsoever of military. It's simply economics. Yes, they have issues, but it's not unsurmountable. They've performed miracles consistently, decade after decade. It's a fact.
Just one sentence. Just one sentence.
I beg to differ with the narratives of this particular thing. No, they currently about 2 days ago, one of the ministers came out and made a comment. Before, they were saying we want to have a friendly alliance with Taiwan. But the conversation has changed. Recently, they said we are firmly, the word was firmly encouraging them to come on board. It was basically, and this is from an Indian news, it's not from America or any other. Firmly, they said we are firmly encouraging them to come in. Before was we wanted, we are looking for, searching for an alliance with Taiwan. But now they are saying that they want Taiwan. As a matter of fact, one of the major problems that they're having is actually that China has increased their military budget by almost, as much as they might be having issues economically, but one area where they are increasing, their budget is in the military. And that is what is troubling a whole lot of countries around them. So there has been, India is concerned very, very highly. They are. Even the president of India, is very concerned. So we have to pay attention to the underlying factors and things that are happening. This could be leading to the third world, because if you look at the sea, China and Philippines, they have fought several times, with each other, and even including China and India. Also, they have, some squabbles going on in the sea. So these are things we need to really pay attention to. Anyway, go ahead.
But those are border skirmishes. China has not been involved in this. China has not been involved in war. We never shoot bullet. This is called projection in geopolitics. Projection, political rhetorics, and projection. The same way America aircraft carrier floats in the sea. In America floats with its aircraft carrier near Taiwan and China. It's called projection. You don't shoot a shot. China will never do that. Not until 2037. Never. Never understand.
The point. Are we talking for China? Are we in Chinese? Are we in the cabinet to know what they are thinking? And they will never do that.
We have statistics. We have historical record and statistics.
Dr. Ibe, why did you say that China will never shoot a gun? Why did you say that?
No, not yet. China has not interested in a shooting war.
Has not been interested in military conflict. No, China has so many opportunities in many regions, Africa, Middle East, Asia, to shoot the fair shot. They have the power to do that, but they have never fired. Never.
They haven't.
That's true. Historical record. It's not my opinion.
I would like to support Godwin in that assertion. China does not intend to spend funds, just like America has been wasting trillions of dollars in needless wars. China is not interested in that. China is interested in using all these funds for progress.
Rhetoric and projection.
China is being more diplomatic.
Irrespective of
positioning itself.
Yes, irrespective of American tantrums, China
did America deport you? Did they deport you?
Irrespective of American tantrums, China is not going to engage itself in any war.
It seems like America did you a number.
I hope the Americans are not listening to me, because I had to apply for a visa.
It's a historical record. You can't
it is true. Gentlemen, I'm enjoying this, and some comments are coming in. I'm trying to bring in comments from other handles. But the fact is that, yes, China is trying to become a very modern socialist country, and they want to prosper. They want to be strong. They want to civilized also. And
Yes.
what a lot of people say, those that have gone to China, I'm planning to go to China, is that China is a beautiful place, highly advanced country. And truly, George, this is a fact. China has never been involved. I mean, they don't want to be in all these kill me and kill you, doing all these things. All they want to do is make the world move on, because they have the craft, they have the creativity, they have all those things. So a man that is endowed with potentials will not want to spoil everything. He will not want to scatter things. He will rather want to
We pray that it will not happen.
If
We pray that it will not happen.
if only America has used its trillions of dollars to
Lord have
develop
mercy
America,
upon this
we won't
man
be in
and
this place.
America.
Okay,
Oh my
guys, let's
God.
go on a small break. We'll be back.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
engagement. We'll be back.
A year ago, I wrote a book titled The Final Solution, and I was trying to say to the rest of the world that there are challenges ahead. Now, a prophecy did come, and that prophecy is coming to pass. But I'm telling you, the final solution has been found many years ago in the Bible, because the Bible simply says righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach to the people. So I want you to know that we can get solutions to problems in Ukraine, in Russia, in Nigeria, indeed all parts of the world. We need that solution, and the solution is straightforward. Please get a copy of my book. It's the Final Solution by Bishop Schengen Johnson, and you can find it in Kindle, in Amazon. Just type Bishop Schengen Johnson, The Final Solution. It will come. It's very, very small book you can read within 2 hours, but it contains the final solution. Do get a copy. Not getting it is doing disservice to humanity. Don't forget The Final Solution.
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several countries to put together these resources and lots of great information for those of you who might be on the path toward public service and diplomatic service, NGO leadership, that sort of thing. We hope that you will walk through this open door and enjoy.
Yes, viewers, you are tuned back to our program Friday, 17th of May, and we're doing our News Echoes World Affairs. Guys, I hope you're all there. Yes, it's business. Let's talk business. Let's do some small business talk. The world is centered around business, engagements, and all that. So we are hearing some things coming in as well. The news was flying. Number one is for Nigeria. There's that airline called the Emirates airline. they've announced they'll be returning to Nigeria from October the 1st. Emirates Airline. BD, what do you have on Emirates Airline? They are giving us a news update here. I said they will resume daily operations from Lagos to Dubai from October 1st. That is after they suspended their service almost 2 years now. BD, do you have that story? Do you have anything on
Yeah, they just announced that they are coming back to the markets again after almost getting to 2 years they've been out of the market, and Nigerians are happy. Nigerians want anything that will make a air tickets now. Maybe probably they are coming back might bring a ease of life, because Nigerians have been paying heavily in air flights now in Nigeria. Air Peace has been able to reduce the Nigerian to London fare, and people are crying for Messiah to come for other routes. So maybe probably Emirates coming back might even be that Messiah that Nigerians are coming back. Yeah, they've announced they are coming back, and we are happy. We're waiting for them. We hope they bring a good thing as they come back this time around.
Okay, George, do you think?
I don't understand. I don't understand why Nigeria.
No,
go ahead,
George, I'll ask you. I said, do you think it's is it this is it like a threat from the Air Peace? Airlines are now weakening up. Everybody's now like, hey, we have to go back. You know, Air Peace could have these routes.
The point. Yes. I whether it is or not, I mean, so many things have happened in the past with regards to our president going to, to UAE, and then coming back with news that they have decided they're coming back, and then it did not happen and all that kind of stuff. I'm just wondering why Nigerians should be happy that Emirates is coming back.
Coming back, yeah.
I just don't understand it. For what purpose would Nigeria be happy that Emirates is coming back? Besides, anyway, Emirates is one of the highest, priced airlines. They charge more than any other, though they give you, what they call their, their luxury Boeing 777 or 727 or whatever the case might be. But the fact that the way they left and the way they acted toward us, they had this superiority type of mentality toward Nigerians. So my question is, why are we happy that they are coming? We can go to Dubai through other airlines, and they have acted that they are more superior than us. They're doing us a favor by coming back into our country. So why are we happy? Why? Tell me, isn't it the same plane that Emirates is using, that APC is using also? The same exact one. So why are you guys happy that they're coming?
They are the one happy. Sorry, maybe probably I made a mistake in my speech. I said they said they are happy coming back to Nigeria.
Okay.
I said they said they are happy coming back to Nigeria. I mean, I said that now with EPIs, they've learned their lessons. Do you understand? Because they were actually treating Nigerians the way they treated us few months or last year, because they didn't know that EPIs will actually do what he did. So what I'm saying now, maybe probably now that they said they are happy, resume back to Nigerian market, maybe coming back, they're going to bring something better. Maybe probably make other routes, reduce their costs, because if not EPIs, Nigerians will still be paying 2.something million naira. But when EPIs came, other airlines even reduced it more than what EPIs reduced. It was 2 million naira, brought it to 1 million naira. Other airline now came back and brought it to 700, 800. It shows you that this is pure wickedness. Do you understand? They were just doing all those things deliberately. So what I'm saying, that maybe now they said they are happy. Maybe their happiness shows that maybe they are bringing something better for Nigerians, to lure Nigeria into accepting them back. Yeah.
We hope.
We hope.
Sorry.
Okay. Yes. Raji, you want to say something?
See, the Nigerian route, any route coming from Nigeria is easily the most profitable route for any airline. The most profitable for any airline. So if Emirates decides to leave, it is to their own peril. If they are coming back, we shouldn't be rolling out the drums to welcome them.
Red carpet. For what purpose?
Yes.
What purpose?
No, seriously. They know what they have lost.
So another thing also that I want you to pay attention, because sometimes, it's precepts upon precepts, line upon line. Why is it that after our president approved 90 billion naira subsidy to go to Hajj. And then all of a sudden, 24 hours, these people came and said, we're coming back on October 1st. And for what purpose is that $90 billion? When people are suffering every day in Nigeria, dying of hunger? I'll just leave it until we discuss this in full.
Can I?
You are one of those.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are one of those who are saying that Nigeria tax to GDP level is low, and therefore there will be more taxes on Nigerians. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government wastes all the taxes that we pay. So please think about that when you are demanding that Nigerians should pay more taxes.
Okay.
Look, let me.
Who's wanting Nigerian to pay more taxes?
Let's hear Godwin.
Godwin, go ahead.
God just raised up a very salient point. Godwin, go ahead.
Anyway, I kind of agree with what many of you have said. We shouldn't roll out the drums or the red carpet, depending on how you look at it. But their coming in is good news, because their coming in increases supply, increases options, and keeps Air Peace honest, even though we support them fully. By having more choice, every airline is forced to be honest. And we congratulate and we appreciate and we thank Air Peace for being the first to toe that line of honesty. But we need checks and balances in the system to keep everybody honest. Also, the issue is not about Nigerian emotion, but regulation and wasting of opportunities. For example, having regulations that control price that these airlines can charge, for example, or making an environment competitive so that these airlines are forced to be kept honest. Finally, we've allowed Air Peace. This is something we should have done a long time ago. Last but not the least is a negotiation with leverage. When you're negotiating with this airline, Raji has rightly pointed out, we have the population and the guaranteed tickets for these airlines. So we should use what our strengths in negotiation with this airline, and in this case, we'll be able to keep them also, how do I say, honest. So it's a good news that they're coming back. It increases supply, increase the options, and I think Nigerians will begin to benefit from these multiple options in terms of competition and price. And I think that's good news for everybody.
Thank you very much. Good one. Gentlemen, let's move on. Our time is running very fast. We can't go without talking about U.S. White House says they propose a $1 billion arm package for Israel in the midst of this Gaza conflict. George, you guys were saying this earlier. We're talking about China.
Let me just. Let me get my shotgun ready. I have to load it with some bullets so I can shoot Allah in Karachi on the knee.
Yes,
I don't want
so $1 billion package that will include tank, rounds, mortars, armored vehicles. All these things will be going to Israel, and the conflict, the Gaza conflict, is still going on. George, let me start.
Okay. Listen, I think. If you really think about all of these things, it's coming out at a time when there is an issue with Biden and re-election. Honestly, this thing just sifted out, from one of the, some of the cabinet members. It wasn't officially announced. The bill has already been signed, but what they were doing was pulling back a little bit by not giving them certain type of weapons that can kill the people. So now that they withdrew that, there were bombs and all those things. They say we're not going to be sending those things. If you remember, about 2 weeks ago, they mentioned that.
Yes, but now
listen to this though. Listen, but now all of a sudden that news is coming out, and I think it's a political, something to kind of wet the people's a certain group of people's tongues that, and also will annoy Olayin Karaji in the US because of the Palestinian situation. So, but I don't think it should be that way, because we are going for a resolution, to bring this war to an end. I don't support such. And even if it's real or unreal, I do not support that. I want this war to come to an end. Generations of people have been wiped away and continues to be. It is not right. These are human beings that we're just destroying unnecessarily because of, for whatever reason that is.
Well, the announcement was yesterday. It came in yesterday, and it's coming in a time when we thought there should be weapons suspension and things should be diverted into other angles. Godwin, let me hear you on this. Face off with George. Go ahead.
Face off. Look, in Russia here, we respect the American people. We consider they are sophisticated enough to know how best they want to spend their taxpayers' money. It's not the elites we care about, it's the people. If the people decide that that's how they want their 2 billion to go, it's their money. What can you say? But
it's 1 billion.
It's their money, so we can only respect their choice. But at the same time, we have to condemn the loss of life. 40,000 civilians dead and counting. And you understand that in many countries in the West, I have to really point this out. Many countries in the West that claim to be democratic, they have not conducted election in a long time. In a very long time. Their leaders are appointed, a political party appointed. The people have never directly really actually voted them in. And many of them, when they get, yes, I'm saying leaders in Western countries, most Western countries, they're appointed, not elected.
No,
so
but
the majority,
don't assume. It's not really true.
Majority. Look at Britain. I said majority. Say fact. Majority say fact.
Look at Britain.
We are here and we follow all the elections. We follow everything.
Majority are appointed, not elected.
Yes.
You argue with that or not?
Two countries.
Oh my God!
Britain
in Europe.
Two European
when election is not free,
Italy, France,
Britain,
Italy.
Italy.
No. How many of them?
Let's not go into this. We have very limited time. But that's your statement.
Look. Most. Let me tell you. I will prove it. And next time on this program, I will come with. No. Let me make a commitment. Next time on this program, I will come with the data, telling you exactly with the picture. I make a commitment. But right now, let us say allegedly. Let us use allegedly until I come with the data. Allegedly, let's use allegedly. Allegedly, most European countries have appointed leaders, and because of the lack of this, sometimes accountability is a problem. Accountability is a problem. Otherwise,
okay. It's so funny. It is so funny that Godwin Ibe is saying this, because I would like you to do, Godwin Ibe, I am taking you on that challenge. Bring the pictures, because I'm going to show you that actually it is your country that actually, that muscles themselves into that political position, not other countries. So being in Russia, you should not even mention that. You should let that situation die. Go ahead, Bidi.
Can I speak? It's okay. See, from what Godwin said, when election is not free and fair, when election is being influenced by interests of some certain group and it's let go, you can't call it an election. It actually could be called a selection. But having said that, now when I saw that in $1 billion for war, America is sending
$2 billion.
See, 2 billion, yeah, 2 billion.
1 billion.
It's 1 billion.
They already spent 2 billion. Sorry, it's Ukraine. They spent 2 billion on hardcore.
It's 1 billion. I saw. Yes. Now, you want to be a world power, and is it by fighting war? There's a better way America could go about this, but by fighting war and sponsoring war, I don't think this will position them where they actually want to be or where they have been. When I saw that, and I was actually disappointed, honestly. I know
Israel is America's little daughter. They have to protect their daughter, but not at the expense of not at the expense of the lives that are lost in Gaza.
Yes. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Let's go further. We can't go away without talking a little bit about some of the African countries.
But that's what America has been doing.
Let him go ahead.
Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hosted the Senegalese President Faye yesterday. and a lot of things were said. He said, ECOWAS, West Africa must unite to defeat terrorism, banditry, and some other issues. Now,
I'll call you back. I'm in a news line.
Yes. Go ahead, George. You said.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. So our president hosted the Senegalese president. Now, what we're saying is some of the things that was said at that, in their meeting was that they want to unitedly defeat terrorism, banditry, and all these things. But back home in Nigeria, the present government is doing zero towards defeating banditry, terrorism, and all this. How do you want to now go forth to defeat in West Africa when back home you have not done anything? BD,
that's hypocrisy. That's okay. Actually, yeah, that's total hypocrisy. Do you understand? Yeah, Fire was in Nigeria and they were discussing, and Tinubu said that his main purpose is to restructure West Africa and to build and fight terrorism. Now, like you said earlier, how do you intend to fight this with another country when on your own you have not even done anything? Forget our president. You know, our president is a strategist. That man is the word I want to. That man knows what he's doing. He needs to present that, but that's not what he's looking from this young man. What he's looking from this young man will be made known very soon, but he needs to enter him with something. You remember when he went there, you remember what the guy said to him and how the guy treated him. Tinubu is a strategist. Tinubu is God. Don't worry, we'll soon hear about this. But he said it's to fight terrorism, but we know that it's not about terrorism.
I think what it is this. Tinubu is a diplomatic giant. He's looking for allies from West Africa, ECOWAS, because his power has been, a hole has been punched in his balloon of leadership. ECOWAS. So he's looking, he's going to look good and sound good and tell people what they want to hear. But I am very, very saddened because it's looking like Tinubu is a puppet for the oligarchy. I'm sorry, but that's what it's looking like. Okay. I am sorry. I'm praying for the man to stay alive and lead Nigeria to that greener pasture. But it's almost looking like he is just another puppet for the oligarchy. And it's sad.
Thank you, George. Thank you, George. George, from your end, two things, but we don't have much time, but we'll just run through it. Lawyers are clashing with Michael Cohen on that hush money trial. And also, we hear today that there will be a Biden-Trump debate very soon. There will be a face-off of the two of them. George, do you have those two updates? Do you have any?
Yeah. So they have agreed to have a debate between Biden and Trump. Two debates actually. Yeah, with regards to Cohen, the Trump's lawyers are painting him, very badly, and he, calling him a liar and that he's not a very good witness and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, he's acting like a repentant liar. But the problem there is that it is very difficult, going back to the, his conversations in the past and everything that he said about, Trump in the past. It's difficult to bypass those things and start looking at him after going to jail for Trump and all that kind of for lying, right now. So it depends on the people that are going to be making the decisions. The what do you call them again? The jury. So the jury. Okay. So that's what much. It looks like.
Guys, we have to go. But there's a comment here from Monday. Dakori. It says America is a slave of the Khazarian mafia, originated from Ukraine, under the Bandera, currently occupying the land of Israel. Well, you see, everybody with their views, everybody has the opinion on all issues. So we allow everybody to. Thank you, Monday. Thank you for coming through and put it out. Your own comments shows you're following. And yes, there are good viewers with us following. Thank you, Robert. Robert has been chatting all along. He first of all said hello. and he said, good to be here. And he said, the world has gone past times of fighting. So Robert Okute. Yes,
Okute.
thank you. Okute. Thank you very much, all of you. And we also had a comment from somebody from Slovak, and I think what he wrote was Slovak thing because we were talking about them. It's a word run. We don't know what that means, but I saw that he's coming from Slovak. So, gentlemen, this is it.
Wait a minute. I just brought a little.
No, please. Sorry, Godwin. We have to go. Please. We'll be coming back next week. Don't worry.
Okay.
I know you.
I'm ready already. I'm ready.
Yes. We have to go. We have to go, guys. Thank you all for coming. Maggie from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for coming. Thank you, George. Everyone.
Have a nice weekend.
Yes, all have a nice weekend. So till we come again Monday for our program, the Between the Lines. Guys, have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye.
Don't be bothered by America.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes is Africans in Diaspora and Back Home leading English news network. One of the most respected and trusted sources for news updates on current affairs as it affects global